I'll stop. I'll let you do the slides. I'm honored to be able to serve all of you and our profession this year. Many of you have heard me discuss the importance of relationships in this industry. And in my nursing career, I've had many outstanding colleagues and mentors who've helped me develop my business into what it is today. Your nursing knowledge and experience are the base for your career in legal nurse consulting, but it's your relationship with other smart nurses and lawyers which will help you grow and succeed. My experience with AALNC started with the mentorship program and subsequent board position with Greater Baltimore AALNC chapter. Our chapter had a great program run by Meg DeVries, where new LNCs can have a year-long education using the AALNC Principles and Practice book, and it culminated with a presentation from both the defense and plaintiff side for CEs to our chapter at the end of the year. This was a free program, but the new LNCs would then serve on our chapter board for 3 years. I mention this to you because I know a lot of chapters are struggling, and this is one good example of a really great way to keep your chapter board going. The Greater Baltimore Association AALNC closed 3 years after this program ended, so it's obvious that it was definitely keeping our chapter going. The board has the issue of chapters at the forefront of our strategic brainstorming, and our new executive director has some experience with other organizations retooling the chapter structure. My local chapter was really the beginning of my career in legal nurse consulting, and I think it's very, very valuable to have colleagues in your local area. Some of the many mentors in AALNC, both at the chapter and national level, that I'm eternally grateful to include Susan Carleo, Debbie Pritz, Kim Bellotti, my new president-elect, Laura Nissom, and our fellow board members, Erin, Margie, and Mary. From our Baltimore chapter, Meg DeVries, Beth Deal, and Carol Walsh. From Virginia, Dana Jolly, and National Volunteers, Beth Zorn, Julie Dickinson, Ann Meyer, Karen Huff, Barsha Desai, and Mary Sussex. For every person I just named, there are probably 10 of you out there who have also supported me through the last 15 years, and for that I'm so fortunate and thankful. Part of my desire to volunteer on the board was to give back to our profession and new LNCs a portion of what I feel AALNC has given to me, bringing me in contact with all these great legal nurses. As a brief introduction, I own an independent legal nurse consulting business in the Washington, D.C. metro area, and my practice is mostly focused on defense of long-term care and medical malpractice cases. My nursing career started as an Army nurse on the largest medical surgical floor unit in the military, Ward 75, at Walter Reed. Woo! I worked in the adult ICU and the pediatric medical and surgical ICU, and I also taught the Army's critical care pediatric courses and the Army LPN course. When I got out of the Army, I worked all over the DC metro area in different ICUs and ERs as a travel nurse. It was a whole new world from the Army, where nurses often outrank, or always outrank, the medical students and interns. And there is a very collegial team spirit with nurses, residents, and attendings. I worked in small community hospitals where the chief medical officer called all the shots, and I worked in large DC and Virginia trauma centers and ICUs. I also took stints in occupational health, risk, and some interesting side assignments my agency found for me. I started this journey in legal nurse consulting almost 16 years ago when my oldest child was born. My mother-in-law, Marty Murray, who owned her own legal nurse consulting business, Murray Medical Legal, in Tacoma, Washington, knew I wasn't working very many shifts while Ryan was an infant, and in a pinch sent me a box of unorganized paper records to sort through and create a timeline. I was hooked. Like Marty, I loved using my brain full of clinical knowledge to find the smoking gun in a pile full of records. My full transition from clinical to consulting happened in 2012 when I started a job as the only non-attorney position with the Department of Justice 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. At that time, my own company started doing well, and I soon quit my job at DOJ and went full-time with Elizabeth Murray Consulting. I mention this to all of you just so that you see there's not just one way to be a legal nurse consultant, and there's a lot of different paths that you can take for opportunity. And sometimes the ones you've never even considered are the ones that you're going to be happy with the most. I call our family Elizabeth Murray Consulting and Company. because my thriving business would not be possible if everyone in the Murray household was not on board. There are challenges to owning your own business, but for a mother of 2 teenagers, it's a blessing and flexibility that allows me to really feel like I can have it all. My kids are active in piano, band, and orchestra. My 15-year-old son's a swimmer, and my 13-year-old daughter, Julia, is an avid lacrosse player. So most weekends you can find me in a random field in Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, or New Jersey, watching her tear up the field. It's a busy time, but I also have to thank my husband, Dan, who's here today, because you can't really have it all unless somebody is doing at least 50% of the work. This year's gonna fly by, and I just want to share with you my vision for the year ahead while I'm the president. And this vision is aligned with our board's strategic plan. I benefited from mentorship and collegial support through my career, and I want that for all new LNCs. I want to grow individual LNCs through AALNC education and through mentorship inherent in being an organization rife with experience and excellent teachers. I urge you all in here to find someone you keep in touch with from this conference throughout the year. And while you may feel that it's important to find people that are higher up in the organization or on the board to talk to, it's really those people sitting at your table right now that you met today, that you're going to be colleagues with for many, many years, and you're probably going to be sitting at that table with them again. Also, try to reach out to a new LNC and ask them how it's going. Despite attempts at tort reform, there's no lack of work in this field, whether it's in hospital risk, in a law firm, or any of the other dozens of areas where health and law intersect to create positions that nurses are perfect for. We are all so much better together, and our whole organization benefits for each one of us succeeding and helping a new LNC succeed. Second, I want to grow awareness for AALNC as a nonprofit professional organization for all legal nurses. No matter where you got your start or your initial education, I want all LNCs to find that AALNC is their home. Some people perceive a competition between AALNC and other for-profit educational institutions, but in my mind, no competition exists. We want to provide affordable and expert education for LNCs, yes, and I would love for LNCs to join us for the professional course or for the LNCC review course or for continuing education with our webinars and events. But we also support the entrepreneurial spirit of LNCs going out there and teaching other people what they know. We are the home for legal nurses, and the more of that awareness we can spread to those nurses working in this field right now who don't belong to AALNC, the more resources we can provide to our members in the future. So tell other nurses about AALNC. Tell your attorney clients why belonging to your professional organization matters. Spread the word. Thank you, let's have a great year.